Hi, welcome back to A to B's Books. I'm Brian, and today we will be doing another weekly recap where I let you know what I've been reading, watching, any new releases, book to screen adaptations, and anything else going on in the bookish world. So, if that sounds interesting, keep watching. Okay, so first up we have what I've been reading, and I actually finished two books this week. Both were Christmassy reads. The first was I'll Be Home for Christmas by Jenny Bayless, and I ended up rating it 2.75. I thought that it was a good story, but I just felt like the writing or something about it just wasn't for me. And if the story had been in a movie format, I would have just enjoyed it a bunch more. But
Open the door or I'm going to throw rocks through your windows, you dumb whore.
okay. Sorry, as I was saying, the atmosphere and the Christmassy vibe were a 10 out of 10. It just had some aspects that were just disappointing. And then I ended up reading a book about Yule. It's called Yule and it has a whole bunch of words after it. I ended up rating that a 2, which is pretty low, but it was a 2 to me, but like the book itself was fine. It just had aspects that weren't relevant to me. You know what it is? This book was written in literally the year 2000. So part of it is like a lot of the stuff now the book isn't as relevant because we can just Google recipes. We can Google crafts, like we get all this stuff on TikTok. So then when I was flipping through the pages, like it was just stuff I didn't need. And there were a few spell things, but like I'm not going to discredit that because that's just something I'm not into. So I can't really talk on that subject. I'm glad I read it. I don't know that I learned anything from a Yule celebration coming up, but I do know that I'm on the right path, so that's always good. Oh, sorry, I read 4 books this week. Okay. Then I also read Murder at Christmas and 10 out of 10 experience. I had so much fun. It was a choose your own adventure where you are a detective. Well, sorry, you're actually a doctor who's a pathologist who helps police. And it's 2 days before Christmas. An old friend calls you up and is like, hey, we're getting poison pen letters up at the estate. Can you help us? So you agree and you go. You try to help your friend solve a murder. It is so much fun. I ended up getting sent back to the start 7 times, but I did solve the murder. So that was very exciting. The only thing is so I took a good chunk of notes. The only thing that kind of bothered me is I felt like I never really needed to take notes. They kind of give you the answer in the final chapter. Like if you are just reading and paying attention, you're fine. So I guess my note taking was just overkill, but whatever. I had so much fun and I had stuff to do and I was like, no, I need to finish this. I need to beat this book. Basically it really felt like a video game in that way where it was like, nope, I'm just gonna keep playing until I win. So that's what I did. So I finished all 3 of those books. Then I've also been continuing to read Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I'm doing a tandem / immersive reading, so in the car or whenever I'm able to, I'll listen to the audiobook, and then when I'm at home I'll double up and read with my eyeballs and my ears. So I've been loving it. I definitely think that the audiobook has made me enjoy this one the most. So it's hard to say is this actually my favorite book of hers, or is it just that the experience has made it so much more enjoyable and digestible? So if you enjoy Jane Austen but you don't necessarily always have the brain power to read Jane Austen, I would highly recommend getting an audiobook to go with it because I'm able to comprehend everything so much easier. So for book to screen adaptations, we have one that I'll be mentioning, and that is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. And it will be starring, sorry, I have a grumpy baby. It will be starring Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney. Oh, Sydney Sweeney. I really hope this movie is good compared to the last few movies that she's been in. I'm just not a huge fan of her, but I am looking forward to the movie. And so I did read the book relatively recently, so it will be interesting. I think it will make a great movie, and I'm curious to see what changes they make because I do think, as I was reading it, there were a few things that didn't totally make sense, and I was like, oh, I hope this is one of the items that or sorry, one of the plot points that they change in the movie, and like for the better. Looking forward to that. I'm seeing it on Friday. I'll let you know how I like it. Speaking of Freida McFadden, she is giving like Hannah Montana of authors. So she is actually a practicing physician, and she specializes in brain injury in the city of Boston, I think at one of the hospitals or something. She currently, I saw in an interview, probably a lot of you did too, she currently is only working 1 day a week so that she can like keep her skills and continue to practice. And the reason she's cut down on working in the medical field is so that she can focus on her writing. But everyone watching her interviews or seeing pictures of her is like, girl, that's a wig. And she wears these glasses. So I wonder if the glasses are actually needed. And obviously, like, she could be wearing a wig for multiple reasons, but I do think it is to kind of hide her identity a little bit. Freida McFadden is a pseudonym. She said that like the reason she has a pseudonym is because she didn't want her patients to be put off by the type of writing that she does with like the thrillers, and sometimes she does like, I guess, medical thrillers or something. So she didn't want them to feel like maybe they weren't in the best hands because her writing is a bit funny or like off-putting. So I just think like she's kind of epic. Like, I did go on Reddit and some people were trying to figure it out, and like a couple people were like going through doctors at, you know, medical facilities in Boston. But I think that's kind of gross, and honestly I don't think they ever really found her, to be honest. She wants to have, you know, the best of both worlds, and so I think people should respect that, you know, like let her be able to have her day job and her passion, her side passion, which has become like super fruitful. But yeah, I just think it's so badass, and I applaud what she's doing in that way. And if she's problematic, I don't know anything about it, okay? But yeah, that's all I have for you this week. I hope that you have a wonderful week with the lead up to Christmas and nothing's too stressful for you. And I will see you again next week. Goodbye.